Well, the spring and summer of 2019 were the wettest in my memory of living in Hinton, and I've been here 21 years. It seemed it rained or it was cloudy almost every single day in June, July, and August. We even had snow at the end of June. That's how miserable it was. There's a creek that splits the property up that we hunt, and I've never ever had any trouble crossing that creek. Just a pair of gumboots is all it takes. This year I had to strip down to my undies to get across, and it was a little sketchy at that. Oh, the things you'll do in the name of hunting. Despite all the bad weather, we're still out there putting up tree stands, putting up blinds, checking trail cameras, and out at the bow range shooting our bows. One of my new purchases in 2019 was a Primos surround blind. Really liked it. It was definitely a different experience sitting in a blind and being able to see all around you.
Cody, why is this blind special?
I don't know. Because you can see around.
Yeah, you can see all around. There's no blind spots.
Yeah.
Where we live, hunting season opens on August 25th. And so on the 24th, we headed out of town with all our gear and lots of food for a week of hunting at the hunting cabin. Well, it's August 24th, 2019. Bow season starts tomorrow. Just driving through Edson here, heading out to Piers to the hunting cabin. We got so much stuff that we got to take 2 vehicles, so Jolene's a couple hours behind. So we'll probably check some trail cameras today, get all organized, and get a plan for tomorrow. When I got there, I headed out and got all our SD cards from our trail cameras. I had, I think, about 6 or 7 of them up, and got a few good pictures of bucks and animals that be fairly happy to shoot. At this time of the year, you can shoot bull elk, cow elk, white-tailed doe, white-tailed buck, mule deer buck, or a bull moose. So certainly lots of targets out there. We just needed to have some walk by. Jolene and I hunted all day, August 25th and August 26th, and didn't have any opportunities. We did see some animals. The weather was really nice. So all in all, it was a good couple of days. It's August 27th, about 7:30. I'm back at the tracker stand. I was here last night. I had a buck come in, but never gave me a shot. So this morning, same spot, hoping for something else. This is where I shot my buck last year. Actually the same day, August 27th, so maybe I'll be lucky. About an hour later, a nice buck came by, but by the time I got the camera on it and then got my bow drawn, he'd walked out of my camera frame, and he spooked when I drew my bow, so he ended up running back in the same way that he came, and I just did well just to get a shot on him. Unfortunately, it's not on camera.
just got a shot at a whitetail. Not a big one, but a little 4x4. I didn't get it on camera, which is a bit of a bummer, but when I drew my bow back, he heard me and he jumped and didn't know what it was, and he kind of walked over a bit, and I settled my pin and I shot him. I couldn't let down and move the camera. This is the problem when you're filming by yourself. I just went and checked my arrow, and the blood is really good on it. It looks bloody, so I'm pretty sure he's not that far, maybe 100 yards. I'll give him another 30 minutes and then go down and find him. This is the same day I shot my buck on last year from the same stand. So, yeah, success, 2019, first blood.
When I got down, the blood trail wasn't hard to find. It's just what you want to see.
Pretty good blood trail. Oh, I see him. Finally. That's the in hole. High lung. It's a steep downhill shot though.
So here he is. Big deer. Not a big 4-point, but good bow buck. Good way to start the year. And I'm really happy. I didn't get it on camera, but you know, you got to keep things in perspective. It isn't always about getting it on camera. And you know, I drew back on him and he heard me and I just followed him, and when he stopped again, I had to give him a little grunt, and he stopped, and then I put a good shot on him. You know, it looks high, but the exit hole is low. It's a steep downhill shot, so went about 150 yards. And now I'm gonna go and get the quad. We brought my buck home and butchered it, but then we were back out there the next day for an evening hunt. Jolene headed off to the west corner of the field, where she's had success before. She got a bull out there last year. And I headed down to the east corner. Now this year, I'd trying something new. I'd bought an e-bike, which I just love. And I thought I'd use the e-bike to get to some of our stands that are further away instead of using the quad. Unfortunately, it didn't work out so well. With the amount of gear that we have to carry to do all the filming that we do, as well as all your stuff and weapons and everything, your pack ends up being about 60 or 70 pounds. And it's a little bit tricky riding a mountain bike with that on. Especially when the battery dies when you're going up a hill.
Ready? You're gonna go up the hill.
I'm a little nervous. I have faith. Be careful. You're going too fast.
I scream like a little girl, but I'm just too old to be crashing mountain bikes with big packs on. And so it's back to the quad.
It's 5 o'clock on Wednesday, August 28th, and as you can see, it's a really windy evening. I am in the west corner stand. It's my first sit on the field for the 2019 season. This is the stand that I got my bull elk in last year, and I haven't been in there since. So I'm hoping that Good Luck is still sitting here in the seat with me. I'm on the hunt for anything that wants to come into shooting range. Funny enough, the wind is so strong that the whole time I was setting up, there was a 3-point buck. He might have been a small 4-point buck on the field, actually in shooting range broadside for a few minutes, go figure, but I didn't have anything set up. I did have my bow up here and I could have put my release on and shot him. I was actually putting the camera arm on the tree when I noticed him, so I didn't want to shoot a buck that tiny off film. My film producer tells me I need to shoot things on camera, so I'm doing my best. Hopefully luck will come back later, and so will a buck.
After a couple of hours, the wind died down and Jolene started to have quite a bit of action. Now Jolene has this small 2-point buck out in front of her, but she heard something behind her, and turns out there was a nice big bodied 4-point behind her, so she was hoping it would come out, give her a shot. After the shot, Jolene got on her phone and texted me the good news, and then did a little happy dance. I walked back to the cabin, grabbed the quad, and then met Jolene at the bottom of the tree. Is that your arrow?
Yep, this is my arrow. It broke off because I hit him in the offside shoulder, but it penetrated to there at least, so good penetration, really good blood sign on the arrow too.
Did you look for any blood?
No, I was just starting to, but I hadn't seen any yet. Like, I heard the quad, so I just came back to my arrow.
That's the stand. If you hit him on the outside shoulder, there's usually not a lot of blood.
Yeah, I know. I knew that. it always happens to me.
It came on this side of the spruce tree.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was there or here.
Where?
It was either right here by the street or right there.
Okay, you go up there, I'll go here.
Nope.
But he didn't go very far.
Nope.
Well, Jolene found him.
I just looked over and was like, hey!
Didn't go very far, but didn't leave any blood. Woohoo! Oh, he's nicely posed. He's got his velvet covered off.
Yeah. He was scraping the tree.
Nice. Good job.
Well, I found my deer. He's about 75 yards from where I shot him. Didn't leave a single drop of blood, so that was a little worrisome. I tend to have these off shoulder shots that don't leave any blood, but The arrow had good blood sign, and I could hear him breathing really labored when he entered the bush, so it was pretty positive, and I filmed where he entered so I knew what direction he'd gone. And here we go. I'm stoked. It's not a big 4-point, but everything lined up great. I had it on 2 different cameras. He was only 20 yards. He was standing there broadside teasing me. My release was failing, and I was able to put that on with 2 hands without him noticing me. So I actually hung my bow back up and then got my release on again. So yeah, it all came together, and when it all comes together, meat is meat. I'm stoked.
Yeah, you got it on video and I didn't yesterday, so.
Yeah, and I got their little like pseudo fight on film too. So because at one point the 2-point buck was in the way of my shot, so I was like, oh my god, I waited this long, and now that little buck's gonna screw me over.
Did he have velvet?
The little buck, no.
So they were both hardened off?
Yeah, yeah. And I knew this guy was bigger because I actually watched him scrape his antlers on a tree. He scraped for like probably 20 minutes, and I was like, man, if he's scraping for 20 minutes, he's got to be more than a 2-point. So I'm happy. Someday it'll be a monster.
That's okay. That's awesome. It's a big body deer. Like, it's quite a big size deer.
Yeah.
And it's not dark, so we still...
It's like only the 7th animal I've seen since opening day. So, and the first one that was in range on camera. So.
Good job.
Well, I was able to get the quad right to the deer, and I hooked him up and dragged him back to camp. I skinned him that night, and we butchered him in the cabin the next morning. Jolene headed back to work after she got her buck. I stayed out at the hunting cabin for another couple days. I did manage to get another doe, so that was pretty cool. All in all, a great opening week for Jolene and I. We got 3 deer down in about 6 days of hunting, so can't complain about that.